All right.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
We're back.
Billy and Bear here.
Yep. And we're having our morning water.
Mm-hmm.
We're done with coffee.
Good old lemon water.
hmm
Everyone should have some. It's very healthy.
So I sincerely want to thank you for your nice comments on the previous videos. Um, we don't have a large audience, but the audience we have is they're wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. And we do this not only because again we're having fun, but we come across with really good messages, situations, and we just want to share it with you.
Yeah.
So, of course, this morning I did my meditation and I asked my higher self, what is it I need to know today? And I didn't receive anything right away. So I was on Facebook this morning and a friend of mine posted a powerful words. It was from Anthony Hopkins. Some of you on Facebook who I'm a friend with yours will see this. And it really struck me. I thought, wow. It caused me to do a lot of thinking. And then when Billie stopped over later, uh, I proposed it to her that maybe we could make a video on this. And she liked it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
liked
It's
it?
very powerful. So thought we would share with you.
Yes. So the first line is let go. This is interesting. Especially today, you could apply it. Let go of the people who are not prepared to love you. This is the hardest thing you will have to do in your life, and it will also be the most important thing. Stop having hard conversations with people who don't want change. And I could go on and on and on about that. And a lot of people I've talked to feel the
Yes.
same way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And he continues. Stop showing up for people who have no interest in your presence.
Yeah.
I know your instinct is to do everything to earn the appreciation of those around you, but it's a boost that steals your time, energy, mental, and physical health.
On the surface, this almost sounds selfish. When you read the words, and it's sort of like, well, no, I need to devote myself to others. And yes, I mean, we do good things for other people, obviously. But you have to really look at yourself as to why are you doing a lot of things. And we'll get into more of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really more about you than it is them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
go
and you're
ahead.
not really helping them if your energy is now dragged down,
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but he gets into this even more. So, when you begin to fight for a life with joy, interest, and commitment, not everyone will be ready to follow you in this place. This doesn't mean you need to change what you are. It means you should let go of the people who aren't ready to accompany you.
Yeah.
If you are excluded, insulted, forgotten, or ignored by the people you give your time to, you don't do yourself a favor by continuing to offer your energy and your life. The truth is that you are not for everyone, and not everyone is for you. That's what makes it so special. When you meet people who reciprocate love, you will know how precious you are.
And that's the key word, reciprocate love. And I know in families, this really does become an issue because we're family. I get that. Um, and I've heard the stories from, well, especially grandmothers now, or mothers and grandmothers. Well, I do all these things for my kids and they just don't seem to appreciate me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it makes me sick. I cry at night because of it. And I think this applies. It's not like you're letting them go, your children or grandchildren. What you are doing is you're letting the feelings go, the expectations.
Yes, that's the key word.
Right.
And you know what? That's them having an attachment to outcome. I know that because I had that.
Yeah.
And it created a lot of communication issue with my own child. So I get that. But that's how we were wired. So we're just going on our basic instinct. This is how our parents did it, our grandparents.
Yeah.
And so It's that wave of wanting to feel accepted again, right? We talked about it last time.
Yeah.
It's acceptance. But if you have an attachment to outcome, and that's really like a draining cord with the child in this case,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so now you're bringing that or you're weighing that energy down. It's you got to give freedom. So sometimes letting go is giving that other soul the freedom to grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So let's see what else Anthony says.
Okay, the more time you spend trying to make yourself loved by someone who is unable to, the more time you waste depriving yourself of the possibility of this connection to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of goes back to what I was just talking about. There are billions of people on this planet, and many of them will meet with you at your level of interest and commitment. And this is happening right now in our society.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I was very concerned about what I perceived to be the separation of families regarding politics and medical situations. It's very disturbing to me. And now I'm beginning to look at it differently. And it applies this thing where we're talking about. They will come around if they're able to. You will come around if you're able to. And Billie and I have done a previous video on letting go of the hot rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that applies here.
Yeah, check that one out.
Yeah, it applies. So just let the expectation of that go.
Yeah.
And give your love to those who can receive it. So go ahead.
All right. So he goes more into this. So the more you stay involved with people who use you as a pillow, a background option, or a therapist for emotional healing, the longer you stay away from the community you want. And actually, I believe the community you're meant to be with.
Yeah.
And like attracts like, and the only reason you're still trying to get them to see your side is because there's still a little feeling of like everything's a mirror in the universe.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to still convince them of something, it's because you haven't fully accepted it within yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love this. Maybe if you stop showing up, you won't be wanted, right? We might think that. Maybe if you stop trying, the relationship will end. Maybe if you stop texting, your phone will stay dark for weeks. That doesn't mean you ruined the relationship. It means the only thing holding it back was the energy that only you gave to keep it.
Yeah.
This is not love, it's attachment.
Yes.
It's wanting to give a chance to those who don't deserve it. You deserve so much. There are people who should not be in your life. The most valuable thing you have in your life is your time and energy, and both are limited. When you give your time and energy, it will define your existence, right? Because what you focus on expands. It's how you create, Where are you most of the time? Who are you giving your energy away to? Is it something that builds you as well as them? Or does it deplete you,
That's a key point right there.
Yeah.
Does it build or deplete?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to take an honest look at ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I've had these situations, and I know Billie has too. Or just as an example, you get a phone call from somebody, and it's the same old, same old. It's the issue that they're dealing with, and they're looking initially to you for advice or just to listen. But when you keep on hearing the same story over and over again, then you say to yourself, "Well, wait a minute, my time is precious here." And initially, I wanted to be there for you to listen and to help in any way I can. But when they're just not getting it.
Yeah.
So.
And instantly by how your body reacts.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind and body are so connected. It's one thing. And so even when you see the name or the phone ring, sometimes, the more you get in tuned with it, the phone could ring and you can already feel like, I'm going to let that go. It's probably a spam call or, probably something I don't. And sure enough, it could even be a name of somebody that in that moment, you probably should not answer. That's your higher self giving you that feeling
Yeah.
through your body. And that's how you begin to figure out, well, how do I know which is right and which is wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You always will have that feeling. And that's why trust your gut is,
Yeah.
a very important saying here.
Okay.
Do you want to go or should I?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you realize this, right, the defining,
Yeah.
your existence, your time, where you give your time and energy. So when you realize this, you begin to understand why you are so anxious when you spend time with people in activities, places, or situations that don't suit you and you shouldn't be around. Your energy is
Yeah.
stolen.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when people often use that word, oh, so and so I spent, an afternoon with, we had coffee, and oh my God, they're such energy vampires.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge clue.
Oh, yeah.
If you're starting to feel that.
Yeah, when you walk away from, let's say, a conversation, or say you meet somebody for lunch or whatever it is, or just meeting them on the street, how do you feel? Ask yourself, how do you feel when you're walking away? Was your energy sucked away from you, your positive energy, or not?
Mm-hmm.
And everything is energy. And as life goes on, and I've got a number of years under my belt, I'm really seeing that a lot clearer now. Energy, it is truly everything.
Well, we are energy beings.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and feelings are energy that create our reality. Love is an energy, fear is an energy. We're at the point where it's time to choose, because you can't make somebody, like this says, choose that for them if they're not ready or don't want to. Eventually they will, but it may not be right now.
Yeah.
So, and it just reminds me of that story I shared often where I practiced using energy. I worked for a doctor, remember, and he was like talking, blah, 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 blah. So when you are in a situation, you recognize it, and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of here. I have a doctor's appointment or something, got to go. But, if you're not bold enough to say that, or you feel like you need to be there in that moment, then just go within yourself for a moment. You could be, listening halfway, but begin to let those words like kind of shield yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I often just do that. I'll call on my higher self or say shields up,
Yeah.
because I've done it so much that, it happens as soon as I declare it, I own it in that moment. And then you can just breathe for a moment, because when you're in that situation, you will notice you'll stop breathing, or you'll be really shallow because you're kind of like, it doesn't feel good, and you don't really want it in your energy field, or you don't want to take it on, and you're feeling them. You don't even realize it's happening, but they're depleting of your energy. It's like an energy vacuum. In the end, they might feel good, but only for a little bit, until they go and repeat that same story to somebody else, right? And then they're back down in the dumps, and so's that other person.
Yeah.
So declaring it. Take a few breaths, because in your breath, you are breathing in life force energy too. So now that's light, frequency, right? Love, frequency. And then while they're talking, you could just imagine that you're building this ball of love. And then when you're ready, just in your mind, just send it out to I love you, and just bask them. What's happening is now you're taking and clearing yourself of all that negative energy that just started to enter your field, and you're loving and blessing them at the same time. So it's kind of like cutting that cord, and now you're free to go again. So anyway, just want to throw that little tip in there.
That's good. You will begin to realize that the most important thing you can do for yourself and for everyone around you is to protect your energy more fiercely than anything else. Make your life a safe haven in which only compatible people are allowed.
It's so funny. That's like a few times now we read a paragraph, but we talked about it before, and then we read it. And again, he's right. It's a prime example. Now is that time. It's a big challenge with what we're facing.
Yeah.
But this is how we heal it all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Go ahead.
You are not responsible for saving anyone. You are not responsible for convincing them to improve. It's not your work to exist for people and give your life to them. If you feel bad, if you feel compelled, you will be the root of all your problems, fearing that they will not return the favors you have granted. It's your only obligation to realize that you are the love of your destiny and accept the love you deserve.
Boy, oh boy, does this apply to me. Um, being a former firefighter, and it's my genes to be a rescuer. And so I dive right in there. When somebody needs help, and whatever type, they give me a call or I help them out the best that I can. But I have to be careful about that too. Um, it's I think I fall into this trap of setting up expectations. Like when I would go and fight a fire, we put the fire out, we left the house or building, whatever, and that was it. We were done with our job. I didn't have to keep on going back there, although I did do that sometimes to just help people out. But it sounds kind of cold to say this, but I had to, because we kept getting fires and fires and more calls, emergencies, what have you. You have to leave it alone. And sort of like when somebody enters your life with a situation, you do have to guard yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can help them, but then you have to kind of let it go to protect yourself. And am I making sense?
Yes, yes. I like
Okay.
that whole fire thing. It's kind of like you got to put out the fire,
Yeah.
but you can't keep taking on more fires until
Right.
take care of yourself. You
Exactly.
can't be depleted.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
beautiful.
Where are we here?
Decide, last paragraph.
Oh, decide that you deserve. Oh, this is good. Decide that you deserve true friendship, commitment, true and complete love with healthy and prosperous people. Then wait and see how much everything begins to change. Don't waste time with people who are not worth it. That sounds like a very cold statement, but it's true. Don't waste your time. It's not that people are we are all worthwhile, but he stresses again, you got to guard your time.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. A change will give you the love, the esteem, happiness, and the protection that you do deserve.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff I guess could maybe be debatable depending upon the situation, but when you and I originally talked on some of this, it applied to us.
Yeah.
And we think, again, especially now in our current situation in the world, we have to be aware of this.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about what you just said about the worthiness. And that's what all this comes down to. If you're trying to still fix, help, rescue people, and it's not in alignment at that moment to do that, because, honestly, you're literally stealing their own ability from them. Like
Yeah.
maybe they're at that point in their life where, you know what, they need to go inward and realize that nobody on the outside is here to rescue. It's not meant to be. You'll always be looking to the next and the next and the next and the next. There's no, white knight, or whatever that saying
Right.
is, coming in to rescue. You're it. And not until you go within and realize your own worth. See, we were trained to think that our worthiness is based on us helping, serving others, and yet allowing us to be depleted. But if you're depleted, you're ultimately not serving, helping others. It's the opposite energy.
Yeah, it is.
And you're draining yourself, and now you're too depleted to serve and help and do what you feel like you should do. So in those moments, it's time to go within, recognize your worthiness. You are worthy, and you're here on a mission. So, just honor that. See, decide that you deserve friendship, commitment, true and complete love with healthy, prosperous people. And that goes to what we talked about earlier, that hope thing or the knowing thing. So you decide, once you make that decision, no, I am worthy. I decide I do want uplifting friends.
Yeah.
I want to meet my soul tribe. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And the more I do that, those that don't get it or aren't ready, they'll just come look at me and they'll be like, you know what? I want that feeling.
Yeah.
And now you're helping them, because now they'll go within.
Yeah.
You could tell them all the
beautiful.
greatest advice, but until they do the work themselves, they're not going to be able to even relate, because it's not in their world. It doesn't make sense. right?
They have to do the work themselves. We can't
Yeah.
make them do it.
And our language is relates to how we feel. And so, just to answer that, hope or knowing, know that you deserve, right? Do you know that you deserve it? Or are you just hoping things get better? Or I hope. Hope comes from a place of lack.
Yeah, it's very disempowering.
Yeah. Depends on how it's used, but for the most part, people do that. They'll hear something good, and they'll be, oh, well, I hope you're right. Well, what you're saying is it's not that way now, and you're doubtful that it will happen.
Right,
That's
right.
the energy you put out. So
Yes,
when he asks you to decide that you deserve that true friendship, that's on you now. Is
yeah,
that what you are? Do you feel worthy of that?
yeah,
Because we think you are,
yeah,
and we know you are,
yeah,
but you have to know you are.
absolutely.
So,
There's a big difference between hoping for something and desiring it, and the opposite is knowing that
hmm
it is yours.
yeah, it
And
is
that's
yours.
happened to me in my life so many times. When I know something is going to happen, I claim it,
hmm
and it happens. Believe me, it happens.
Yeah.
But I catch myself where I have to, wouldn't it be great if, oh, wait a minute, it is going to be great.
Yes.
It is going to be great.
And see the way you just said it, that's like claiming it.
Right.
And if you're in that space of, well, I'm in the in between. Like if you just took everything that we said and your question is, well, how do I get to that? One great way is to just kind of act like it is, but just be grateful now for it. So, you know what? Thank you for those new wonderful friends
Yeah.
that are in alignment with
Yeah.
where my heart is at. Thank you for the abundance. Thank you for the perfect health. All that good stuff.
You're good.
And so are you. We're good. And so are you.
Yes,
You got
exactly.
this.
So thank you, dear friends.
Thank you, Anthony Hopkins. That
Yes,
was really good.
definitely. So we hope you enjoyed it, that you can take something with you from this. This is why we do it. We do it out of love. And we just have fantastic conversations about stuff.
Yeah, and hope it stirs some great conversations for you too.
So have a good day. We love
Yes.
you. And till next time,
Yes.
have a good day.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.